What happens when federal investigators begin examining Nike's internal athlete promotion decisions? The spotlight suddenly shifts from sneakers to strategy. At the center of the discussion are Caitlin Clark and Aya Wilson. Clark's signature shoe experienced delays, while Wilson appeared to receive a major promotional rollout. A federal subpoena reportedly revealed that since 2018, Nike tracked demographic data tied to hiring, firing, and endorsement decisions. That revelation has sparked debate about whether representation metrics influence marketing priorities. Now, with Wilson's shoes sitting on shelves and Clark's upcoming release projected to generate massive demand, many are asking whether Nike is strategically pivoting. Is this purely business performance driving the shift, or something deeper within corporate decision-making? The timing has raised serious questions across the sports industry.
Nike is being investigated by the federal government over its DEI policies. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission wants the court to enforce the subpoena it issued to Nike as it pursues allegations that the apparel giant discriminates against white workers.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission does not act without cause. Reports indicate Nike was served with a subpoena requesting 6 years of internal documents, including emails, spreadsheets, promotion records, endorsement data, and demographic tracking tied to athlete partnerships. Investigators allegedly sought insight into how marketing budgets were allocated and whether demographic considerations factored into promotional campaigns. While many corporations track diversity metrics internally, the concern arises when those metrics intersect directly with commercial strategy. If endorsement decisions were influenced by factors beyond performance and profitability, it could complicate Nike's public image as a merit-driven sports brand built on competition and excellence.
We talked about this with the WNBA and their treatment of Caitlin Clark. Now Nike finds themselves in the crosshairs. Nike is being investigated by the federal government over allegations of systemic race discrimination against white workers, including through its DEI initiatives.
As investigators reviewed internal communications, discussions reportedly surfaced about maintaining a specific brand narrative. In some cases, performance metrics may not have been the sole driver of promotional investments. Documents allegedly reflected that demographic representation was tracked alongside athlete engagement, sales projections, and marketing exposure. Tracking diversity data is not inherently improper, but critics argue the key issue is proportional influence. If demographic balance outweighed market performance and decision-making, it could shift the perception of fairness within athlete endorsements. That balance between corporate representation goals and commercial viability now sits at the center of the controversy. The probe reportedly highlighted situations where high-performing athletes did not immediately receive the marketing push their numbers suggested they warranted. Engagement statistics, merchandise movement, and fan response sometimes appeared strong, yet promotional budgets were reportedly limited or delayed. Meanwhile, other campaigns moved forward more aggressively. Investigators are said to be examining whether timing patterns align more closely with internal demographic objectives, rather than straightforward financial forecasting. Even if no wrongdoing is ultimately determined, the perception of uneven prioritization can significantly impact brand credibility.
Federal agency seeks court order for information related to systemic race discrimination allegations that athletic footwear and apparel giant discriminated against white workers, including via Nike's DEI programs. St. Louis. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission announced today that the federal agency filed an action in federal court to compel Nike to produce information related to allegations that the company discriminated against white workers, including as a result of Nike's diversity, equity, and inclusion related 2025 targets and other DEI-related objectives.
Corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion policies are common across global brands, and Nike is no exception. However, when those initiatives intersect with athlete endorsements, the line between representation and revenue becomes delicate. Reports suggest that federal scrutiny has encouraged Nike to reassess its promotional framework. Legal risk alone can prompt strategic reevaluation. At the same time, companies must respond quickly to consumer behavior. If a highly promoted athlete underperforms commercially while another generates explosive demand, the pressure to recalibrate becomes unavoidable in a competitive retail environment. Amid the investigation, Caitlin Clark has reportedly been heavily involved in developing her signature shoe at Nike's headquarters in Oregon. Rather than a simple endorsement agreement, Clark appears engaged in hands-on collaboration with design and engineering teams. She has contributed feedback on fit, support, responsiveness, and aesthetic direction. For an athlete whose signature line initially faced delays, this level of direct access suggests a meaningful shift in corporate commitment. The optics of that timing, given ongoing scrutiny, have only intensified speculation about Nike's evolving priorities.
Caitlin Clark went crazy her rookie season. A question we all were asking ourselves, where's Nike during this? Why isn't there any promotion from Nike during this? No marketing, no commercial? What's going on? No t-shirts, no merch? What's happening? No signature line yet? Can somebody fill me in?
Nike has reportedly assigned senior designers and experienced engineers to Clark's project, individuals known for shaping iconic basketball lines in the past. Executives have attended review sessions, budgets have increased, and development timelines have accelerated. Such concentrated investment signals long-term strategic intent. Whether this move reflects pure confidence in Clark's marketability or broader reputational recalibration remains open to interpretation. What is clear is that Nike appears determined to ensure her launch receives maximum technical and promotional support. Clark recently shared that her shoe will feature advanced full-foot cushioning technology not previously used in Nike basketball footwear. Multiple prototypes were tested, refined, and adjusted based on her playing style. Custom colorways and storytelling elements are reportedly being built around her personal journey and rapid rise in professional basketball. This athlete-driven development model contrasts with traditional top-down branding approaches. It suggests Nike is aiming to align product innovation directly with Clark's on-court identity and fan connection. Clip 9.
You think if these allegations are happening at the base level, the hiring level, the training level, the promotion level, it's not happening at the marketing level? It's not happening at the, okay, well, she might be the biggest star, but DEI initiative, we got to put this person in front instead. Up, DEI initiative, we got to put this shoe at the back burner and put this shoe at the forefront. Up, DEI initiative, we can't waste our resources making a commercial for the biggest star. We can't do that.
Sources indicate that Nike has redirected marketing and manufacturing resources to prioritize Clark's upcoming release. Staff assignments have reportedly shifted, and production timelines have been adjusted to meet anticipated demand. From a business standpoint, a highly successful launch could shift headlines away from federal scrutiny and back toward product performance. In the sneaker industry, momentum matters, and aligning with the athlete generating the strongest consumer buzz can redefine a brand's trajectory almost overnight. Clark's shoe reportedly incorporated enhanced ankle stability and specialized traction tailored to her quick directional changes and aggressive pace. Biomechanics experts analyze her movement patterns to refine structural components inside the shoe. This level of technical customization reflects deep investment rather than symbolic endorsement. It also signals Nike's intent to position Clark not merely as a spokesperson, but as a central figure in its women's basketball innovation strategy moving forward. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson's signature shoes remain widely available across retail outlets. In sneaker culture, prolonged availability at full price can indicate slower than expected sales velocity. Some stores have introduced promotional pricing, often a sign of inventory management rather than overwhelming demand. While Wilson remains an elite athlete with significant accomplishments, retail performance ultimately drives corporate investment decisions in the footwear industry.
I believe that Caitlin Clark signed on with Nike, and I had a feeling that when Nike signed her, they were like, oh, full steam ahead. We're going to market the shit out of Caitlin Clark, yada, yada, yada. And then I believe these comments happened from what was, at the time, their biggest marketable women's basketball star, A'ja Wilson. Remember right before Caitlin Clark came into the league? All right, she gave an interview talking about A'ja Wilson with the AP in 2024, and she was talking about race and marketability.
Industry analysts suggest Clark's pre-release demand indicators exceed recent benchmarks for women's basketball footwear launches. Retailers have reportedly seen elevated inquiry volumes and early interest compared to prior campaigns. The contrast between current buzz surrounding Clark and the quieter reception of Wilson's release has fueled public debate. In competitive consumer markets, excitement and scarcity often shape perception as much as product quality itself. Marketability extends beyond championships and awards. While athletic performance establishes credibility, fan relatability and cultural presence frequently determine commercial success. Companies rely on engagement metrics, social growth, and consumer enthusiasm when forecasting revenue. If projections fail to materialize, rapid course correction follows. That dynamic appears central to Nike's current situation as it evaluates long-term endorsement hierarchies within women's basketball.
Were you super involved in that process as well?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously I'm pretty picky about what I wear. I like a certain two Kobe models. So I knew whatever I was going to put in my own shoe, it need to be the equivalent of that technology or even better. And it's going to be even better. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I think it'll get people excited about it. And I think even the Chinese market, I was talking to some people at Nike, over in China, they'll cut open the inside of the Kobe's and show people the technology that's on the inside of the shoe because they're that means a lot to them. They want to know what they're getting out of the product.
Right.
Wow.
So I thought that was really fascinating.
They're about to cut that open? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So it better be made well.
Reports of NBA players informally wearing Clark-inspired designs prior to official release have further amplified anticipation. Pre-launch visibility among professional athletes can elevate a shoe's cultural value instantly. Organic endorsement often carries more weight than paid campaigns. This kind of early adoption suggests Clark's product may extend influence beyond women's basketball alone, potentially expanding Nike's reach across broader basketball demographics. Industry chatter indicates Wilson's team may have been surprised by Nike's shifting allocation of promotional focus. Marketing adjustments and resource rebalancing can strain endorsement relationships. When companies pivot toward emerging commercial momentum, existing partnerships inevitably feel the impact. Such transitions are common in competitive branding environments, but rarely occur without tension.
I know I need that technology everywhere, so that's honestly been a huge part of, the process and the creation of the shoe is it being comfortable and exactly kind of what I need. And the technology that we're going to put into it isn't anything that they've ever put into a basketball shoe before. So I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting.
Wilson has continued promoting her achievements and maintaining brand visibility through social platforms. However, sustained corporate backing depends on measurable consumer traction. Sponsors invest heavily in athlete partnerships, expecting long-term growth and brand elevation. When public excitement plateaus, companies reassess. That recalibration process appears to be unfolding publicly in real time. Clark's public image, often described as competitive yet team-focused, has resonated strongly with a rapidly expanding audience. Authenticity and relatability frequently translate into sustained merchandise demand. Brand analysts consistently emphasize that personality alignment with consumer expectations can be as important as on-court statistics. Nike's apparent commitment to Clark may reflect confidence in her long-term commercial scalability. Whether the federal investigation results in formal consequences or not, it has placed Nike's internal processes under significant scrutiny. The company's visible pivot toward Caitlin Clark signals strategic recalibration during a sensitive moment. Legal caution, market data, and consumer enthusiasm may all be influencing this shift simultaneously. Ultimately, in the business of sports apparel, performance at retail determines survival. The coming months will reveal whether Nike's renewed focus produces the commercial breakthrough it appears to be banking on. Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates.
I kept thinking the best player in the league should have her own shoe, not just about shoes. It's,
you think?
Yes. Right? I want to get your thoughts on that.
Because you don't need my thoughts. You already know my thoughts.
But that's how young kids, you know, when you're a fan of LeBron, you're a fan of Asia. I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
She needs her own shoe. Let me answer that. She is the two-time MVP. I'll toot her horn because she won't. Olympic gold medalist, best defensive player, 2 years running. Her team's like, stop.